Welcome back to the GSTL. We may have our final game here as we have Patience coming out to Protoss versus Protoss against Trap, who was able to defend against Symbol.
Yeah, Patience is needed since Soul just activated the Trap card and Symbol was the first one to fall into it. So right now we have a situation where Trap could actually bring this to an ace match if he is able to take down Patience.
Yep. Symbol cleaned his glasses.
And I actually think that Patience is one of the snipers that was prepared today. From the beginning, AZUBU knows two Protoss players, that's what they have to face. Making Patience play of the game against them is probably what they did here. Because the thing is, on one hand, the AZUBU coach said, like, yes, we want to give more players a bit of exposure here, but at the same time, it's a very important game. And you know that these players were coming out for Soul, so sending him out is probably also a bit of a snipe move that we have here, especially since Patience doesn't have a lot of experience here.
Very young fan here. Oh, I love that face.
Not camera shy.
Exactly, just being so confident on the camera.
I like it.
But
she's going to be an expert.
Could be.
The camera loves her.
Definitely so. Is it just me or does Patience look so nervous?
A little bit, yeah. Like, we saw him in the booth a little bit before that. He's talking to himself. I think he's very nervous going into this match.
Yeah, I think he looks, I mean, like, he looks like he's about to like, break down in there. Maybe he's just got his adrenaline pumping, and that's good for him. Protoss vs. Protoss can be a stressful matchup, but when you're up against Trap, one of the best Protoss in the world, it can be a lot more stressful than that. But this is what he's prepared for, like you said, most likely as the sniper.
But look at just him in comparison to Trap. Trap is calm and relaxed, and he's like, yep, let's get this party started, whereas he's just... I mean, Patience is buzzing. He's talking to himself a little bit. You could see that he was quite very... got his eyes closed for quite some time, and he's just bouncing there in his chair. But of course it's understandable, since he doesn't have a lot of exposure in front of a camera, so this is one of the times where he really has to show himself.
Definitely true, and Polar Night is the map that he has chosen, so I wonder if he's prepared a specific strategy for this map, or he's just kind of at this point one of the only two maps left to pick from. So if he falls here, I think we will see Supernova next as the last player, but he wants to prevent it. He wants to take this game right now in the Team League in AZUBU's favor.
GSTL here with Cullen Wolf going into the game. Protoss versus Protoss, Trap versus Patience. Let's see who takes it. Will we see the ace match, or is Patience gonna seal the deal? Starting to the bottom left for Team AZUBU, we have the Protoss player in red.
AZUBU, Patience.
Player number 3 for the team after Symbol just got defeated. Maybe a little bit nervous right now.
Yeah, looks to be calmed down a little bit.
And he's going up against the player to the top of the map here, Polar Knight. Last man standing for Soul.
Soul, Trap.
And if you talk about Trap, you usually talk about his great PvZ, his PvT record, but you don't talk about his Protoss versus Protoss. With a win ratio below 50%, he's not the best PvP player, but he is a lot more experienced than Patience. Patience only played 2 maps so far in the GSTL. In Protoss versus Protoss, he lost to Crank, he won against Seed. So he is probably trained as a sniper here against the Protoss players for the Soul team. But let's see what he can actually accomplish here. Definitely a lot more nerves involved on his side than on Trap. Trap, of course, a veteran in StarCraft and StarCraft 2. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's getting from the camera count.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what you said earlier when you just look at the two of them. Look at Patience looks nervous, bouncing the breeze, and Trap, on the other hand, just looks like I want to get this over with. I got 2 games to win. I'm out of here. Now, on this map, it's a 2-player map that has a lot of places to hide pylons for run-bys and DTs and things like that, things of that nature, but neither player has sent anything out. No scouts except checking the main base for proxies. And that's kind of going to show that both these players like to play this a little bit risky. Finally, we do see Trap send out a probe scout, so he is going to be scouting a little bit, or could go north for a hidden structure.
Yeah, the last games that we have actually seen in the GSTL in Protoss versus Protoss were a lot of strategies involved. Sometimes just going for DTs. I mean, we had games end so quickly just because there was no opportunity to actually get detection into the game just in time. DTs actually in the GSTL playing a huge role this season. A lot of matches were decided by them, not only in the Protoss versus Protoss. We saw a couple of very exciting builds in PvT as well.
Yeah, yesterday in Challenge League,
Yeah.
some absolutely bonkers stuff going on.
Yeah, when Hurricane was playing his games against Bunny,
Yep.
that was such a crazy build that he played. They're so well executed, no scout, faking out his opponent, and just in general, like this season's a lot about builds. And talking about DTs, we have both players actually going into a Twilight Council build.
In the main base.
Yeah.
And in the main base, usually likely to be Blink, but if they both go Blink, this could be really crazy and exciting. If one goes Blink and one goes Dark Shrine, then they better hope they get the Robo up because there's not going to be any detection.
Blink versus Blink battles are always amazing, but yeah, one of the things that we saw a couple of times this season, and one of the games on here actually, was just Dark Shrine, and there it is already. We have the Dark Shrine here currently for Patience. I'm actually trying to remember who was playing that game on Hero Day. Was that
Alicia,
actually Patience?
I think.
Didn't Patience play? Yeah, Alicia played one, but didn't Patience play the other? Did he go for a Dark Shrine in one of his games, in the one against Seed? I don't quite remember, but be that as it may, we currently have the scouts meeting each other here. The forward pylon has already been spotted. We have Blink going up against the Dark Shrine, and with the pylon that he saw, we have also the robotics now coming down for the action.
Yeah, it's like he's expecting his opponent is going for DTs as well with that pro placement, but on the other hand, he's not making a Robo. The Blink player, that is to say.
Yeah.
So he starts it, so he will be safe. And obviously, this puts Trap in a good position because he has the catch-all build. Now everything is seen.
Yeah, Phoenix in the main base. And this is the one thing that you always have to account for when you play a matchup like this and want to go for Dark Shrine. With the hallucinated Phoenixes now in the heart of the swarm, do the changes, we have players in a position where there's just no excuse for not at least scouting the main base of the opponent.
I'm a little bit surprised he didn't cancel the Dark Shrine. If this DT does anything, and I mean anything, I will be shocked because how can he? I mean, he's seen there's a Dark Shrine. He already has the robotics finishing up here. He should, yeah, exactly. He should have his units on the ramp,
Blocking everything.
And now that he has the Force Shield, he's going to bring the Stalkers down to find the Blur.
Well,
And
that's
somehow misses it.
Blur, and we have the DT going in. But the Observer is ready. Does he have the units at home? Yes, he does.
That was a close call, though, with the Blink here, even the overcharge.
Oh, Wolfie gets some.
I know. I'm shocked, actually.
He killed two. Still not worth it.
You guys can't see, but I fell out of my chair when I saw that.
No. I actually had to assist, like it was dangerous. Well, right now what we have is though the Blink upgrade coming into play, and this is suddenly a big concern because they're just one Immortal at this point. Patience is a little bit in trouble. There's currently no Observer here for him, but we have Blink, and now suddenly Trap is the one who puts so much pressure onto Patience. That base that Patience wanted to get, he already had to cancel it, and that kind of negates everything that Patience did so far in this game. So Trap, the one who's really going for the aggression.
Yeah. And with this, with this timing, before the second Immortal is out, he could actually try to end it. The thing is, those sentries are going to put a damper on what he wants to do, so he's going to go for the contain. At least that's what it looks like here. And then into his own Nexus. With the sentry back there, very easy to contain. DT saves the day.
11 hit points. Save the day just barely, but we have two Immortals now. He can go for the Force Fields on the other hand, and that's what he is going to try to do, just go for the safe contain here.
War Prism on the way too, and he could actually Elevator. That would be crazy, but it has been done. I've done that before in games. And the backstab potential is really, really scary as well. Don't forget the Blink Stalkers.
The DT is still active on the map, of course, but this is also something that has been revealed. And there's the Observer, there are units right on top of it, so there's nothing that the DT can really do except to scout if there's an expansion and maybe even delayed a little bit. Blink into the main base has been revealed. Blink is in cooldown. He's trying to move in. The Snipe is there trying to get the Observer out of the picture.
Yeah. This is not going to get a whole lot done here, but he does get the
Mothership going.
Yeah.
And the Observer.
And some questionable micro there, a little bit waiting too long. But, one thing that's really weird to me is that we just do not have a Nexus at all for Trap. He's finally going to eliminate a DT, which will allow him to do it, but he didn't even send a probe down there for so long. And this is really the advantage that he has. He's got a containment on his opponent. He's forcing Patience's hand. who is going for, it looks like, one base Colossi here.
What I think happened here is that he sent down the probe, but the DT just simply sniped it. He did realize that a little bit too late, and it delayed everything. He just thought, okay, I'm going to pressure him at the bottom left, and did not remember that the DT was there, or did not expect him to be there.
Yeah.
So suddenly he loses that timing. You're perfectly right. Usually if you go for this contain that we see from Trap, you want to have that base out a little bit faster, but the Warp Prism is now there, and he could just go for another attempt at cancel.
I think if he whips in just a few Zealots here, or even if he went for a DT or two with it, he could get the cancel down. And the sentries may... Oh, he doesn't target with all of them. He's actually just in the fight here. And to be frank, I'm not sure why. Now he can't really get anything done.
He gets his Nexus, and that would be exactly what that means, and it looks pretty good so far, but we have another attempt at Warp in. The Warp Prism goes down though, but we have a ton of Zealots here currently for Patience, and at the same time he breaks down the ramp. Now he has the Colossus, he can walk over the force fields, so the contain is not valid anymore, can blink into the main base, but he could not possibly do it now with all of the units of Patience already waiting on the high ground for him.
These Zealots up here at the front really doing a lot more than I thought, but he still can't get that critical amount of damage done, and he's on a clock. He has those Colossi coming out, like you said, he can break on force fields, but he has to make sure he drives the Stalkers away from his main base. He has to either kill the Observer or push them so far back that there's no longer a threat of blinks into the main.
And the thing is, right now he goes for range and he goes for the second Colossus. He can go into a Nexus. Oh wow, nice. We have the Immortals on the high ground, but they're not guarded at all, and the blink is good. Both Immortals are sniped. The Colossus might go down as well.
Extremely poor control here by Patience, actually, just allowing this to happen. Even, I like the idea of leaving the Immortals there, but Immortals alone are not going to cut it if all the Stalkers go in the main.
You know, I was just about to say before that happened that Patience has now to make a choice if he really wants to get this expansion, or maybe go for an attack and try to get something out of this fast attack that he has, because playing the catch-up game in economy is going to be difficult for him. But now, with losing 2 Immortals and a Colossus, it's nearly impossible for him to pull it off.
Yeah. Oh no, this is... I mean, the thing is, the Stalkers can't engage this straight up, but they can whittle it down, and he has a better economy, so it's always going to be better for him. And actually, now he can kill it with the next round of Stalkers coming through. Immortal is targeted here. Yeah,
Immortal is targeted, and he gets the Colossus as well. He's in a loss-loss situation right from the beginning. I mean, even if he moved out and was trying to attack with the Blink Stalkers in the game, there's so much flexibility that Trap has, and Trap is not giving this advantage away that he had right from the start when he built that Nexus. Then he is taking the game, and he brings AZUBU to the ace match.
I really and truly feel that Patience was having some nerve issues in that game based on some of the decisions that he made. For example, he could have maybe forced the cancel on Nexus if he committed right then and there. You know, if he was looking at it and he was ready to go.
Yeah.
But with those Zealots, and also just some of the control we saw against those Blink Stalkers was questionable.
After this is just such a bad situation for Patience. You know that you're ahead in your tech, so one of the choices that you have is just attack your opponent and try to overwhelm with the tech advantage that you have. Problem is, if you move out, he's just going to blink into your main base with a couple of the Stalkers. It's not as simple as like leaving a sentry at the front at the choke point, but playing a catch-up game against an opponent who already completed his second base, whereas you don't even started your Nexus yet, is always difficult. So
it could have been, though, yeah, exactly, and it could have been as simple as stop Colossus production for just a second, get one Observer of your own out, and snipe the Observer on the high ground. Then the threat of him blinking into your main base is gone, at least until he sends a hallucination or makes another Observer. So at least you have that window of time where you start going across the map, you catch him by surprise, you kill an Observer, because, you know, that's really what the problem was. Without high ground vision, there's no threat of the backstab anymore, you know? It's a backstab because you move out and he's going to stab you in the back. That's exactly what those Stalkers are there to do.
I mean, it was just well played from Champ in general. He saw that there are only 2 Immortals on the high ground, and he was looking at it, was like, well, I can take those 2, so he goes in, then he sees a Colossus, and is like, nice, it's Christmas already, I'm getting a free Colossus too. He knows that there's nothing else in it in terms of tech that his opponent could actually do. So all that he had to do at this point is just rely on his economy back at home, get a couple of units in the picture that another Warp Prism is not going to threat him too much, and Patience knew it as well. So great decision making here by Jab, really good unit control. Maybe a questionable blink when the Mothership Core was still in play and losing a few of the Stalkers, but overall just the superior player.
Boom Boom!
Oh, wow!
Boom Boom comes out for the Zerg versus Protoss.
Why? The Soul Coach is shocked. He's looking at it, he's like, what, really? A Zerg? Alright.
I like this shot that we get of the AZUBU coach.
I am surprised. I have to say I'm surprised. Boom Boom, not a bad player. but definitely not the player that I expected. Beating Trap, Zerg, that's ballsy.
He's certainly not in his prime right now. And I don't mean him being formerly a prime player, but he's just not in his prime. I wonder what's been going on in the practice rooms. If he's really looking like the strong Zerg versus Frost player, the leader that you can rely on. Maybe he has the super snipe build for Trap. You know, PvP doesn't cut it. That's okay, as long as you've got Plan B. Or in this case, like Plan D. But
it just really surprises me that you would feed him, like you would feed Trap a Zerg player of all things. Trap is so strong against Zerg, and he showcased it earlier. Very interesting choice. I'm really excited for this game now.
Yeah, Trap is, again, not looking too phased by this, looking very confident. But Boom Boom is not someone to take lightly. He always surprises me, Boom Boom does.
The thing about Boom Boom is, like, we haven't seen him in a little bit, but in the GSTL he played one game against Protoss, and that was against Avenge, and he lost it. He doesn't have an impressive record against Protoss either, and now him going up against such a master in the matchup, very interesting choice here. I mean, I don't know what to say. Not really know what I expected.
Well, Tristram is our final map. We have gone all the way here. It's been a pretty back-and-forth Team League match, a lot of surprising results, a lot of crazy games. Trap has brought us to set 7. And Boom Boom, surprisingly enough, our last player, everything relies on him now for AZUBU.
I expected Boom Boom to be a player that you send out first, second, third, but not the last man that you send into the game. Unless he's the one who really has a snipe build for that certain player prepared, but I just don't really see it. I feel this is the game where you want to have matchups, whatever. You want to have Supernova there.
Yeah.
Or Center. Maybe he's Center. He played so well, like, just recently. As it is, it's Boom Boom. Boom Boom up against Trap. CVP once again. AZUBU versus Soul. The ace match. Trap brought us here. Can he finish what he started? With the GSTL, Round1.